together by modern jet to the capital of Canada's Northwest Territories, Yellowknife. With a population of 10,000, this modern little city is the jumping-off point for our week-long fishing vacation on Great Slave Lake. Transferring to a modern turboprop float plane, we're soon airborne again for the 115-mile trip across Great Slave to Jerry Bricker's famous Frontier Fishing Lodge. Flying at 2,500 feet above the ground, the float plane gives one a breathtaking view of this fabulous Canadian wilderness. Great Slave Lake, 325 miles by 125 miles, one of the world's largest freshwater bodies. In no time at all, we begin our descent for landing at Frontier Lodge, a picturesque setting there on the bank of the Stark River, which connects Stark Lake at the top with Great Slave. All too soon, it seems the funnest flight of the trip is over as the Twin Otter settles gently onto the water. The plane's arrival is always an event at the lodge, bringing Indian guides, chef, kitchen help and all down to the dock to greet us. First in line to shake the hand and greet each guest is the man who made it all possible, Jerry Bricker. The first thing you spot is that world-famous sign, and you remember past pictures you've taken in front of it. Rustic cabins, complete with electricity, hot showers, and modern plumbing, provide comfortable accommodations for up to 24 guests. Everyone, of course, is anxious to go fishing, and Jerry readily points out where the big ones were caught last week. But first, it's lunchtime, and off we go to the dining room for Frontier's famous fish chowder from freshly caught trout, together with homemade bread and apple pie. Lunch is followed by a brief welcome and orientation, and then it's down to the dock to meet the Indian guides and off for the afternoon fishing. The Daredevil is the most popular lure here on Great Slave. Most anglers bring their own, however, tackle is available at the lodge. Spinning or trolling rods should be capable of handling 20 to 30-pound fish. And your reel is very important. Its drag system must withstand bruising battles with these cold water fighters. 5 to 10 pounders are common, and the largest trout caught so far here at Frontier Lodge weighed 58.5 pounds, but bigger ones have gotten away. The season begins with ice out in early June and runs to mid-September. You'll catch far more fish than you'd ever want to keep. Most anglers have found that smaller fish like these, of 5 to 8 pounds, are actually better eating. Legal limits vary from year to year, but apply only to fish you keep. You can catch and release all you want. The fame of Canada's fabulous fishing waters here in the far north has spread worldwide. Here on Great Slave Lake, a week will produce more memories than most anglers will know in a lifetime. According to a growth rate study by Canadian government fishery biologists, the short summer and cold water here in the far north result in an unusually slow growth rate. Scale samples from a large trout like this show the fish could be as much as 40 years old. Realizing this, more and more sportsmen see these trophy trout as too valuable to kill and are returning them to the lake to be caught and released another day. There's a certain thrill and satisfaction from releasing a fish like this that is known and shared only by those who have done it. In releasing fish, it's best not to handle them by the gill covers. Fingers can easily damage these fragile filaments. Remove the hook, preferably barbless, as gently as possible. Holding the fish in this manner, gently move it back and forth so that water begins flowing over the gills. This helps restart the exchange of oxygen, and as soon as the fish recovers its equilibrium, it will swim out of your grasp. Majestic falls on the beautiful Snowdrift River. Nearby, a bull moose keeps a nervous eye on the intruders. The black bear is occasionally spotted, as well as other wildlife, from porcupines to waterfowl. But perhaps the most memorable sighting of all is this magnificent creature, the American bald eagle. Loss of habitat has pushed him to near extinction in the United States. Here in this northern wilderness, his living requirements of open space, adequate food, and nesting conditions are abundantly met. Majestically, the female soars overhead as our guide takes us close to shore for a look at the nest built on a pinnacle of rock some 200 feet above us. Though widely scattered, eagle nests are frequently seen near Frontier Lodge. As the young eaglets mature, they can be seen watching intently for the parents' return, hopefully with lunch. Fresh air and being outdoors gives everyone a big appetite. At noon, the boats meet for shore lunch. With just a touch of bragging, Charlie says, "Here's a little one I kept for lunch." One Indian guide fillets a couple of trout, while another starts a fire. The only problem with Charlie's trout is, how are we going to get him in the frying pan? Through the week, the guide prepares shore lunch several ways. Potatoes and onions between layers of trout, and topped with our special, authentic Northwoods Indian barbecue sauce. Baked in butter and seasoning over wood ashes from the Canadian pine, yes, it's a meal fit for a king. Shake and bake, Indian style. Fillet of trout, floured and seasoned in a bag by a dancing Chippewayan, and fried over an open campfire will whet the palate of any gourmet diner. While waiting for lunch, there are many things to see. This little wild rose grows abundantly throughout the north. In fact, it's the official flower of the province of Alberta. He's tired from fighting big trout. Even falling in the lake doesn't dampen this man's enthusiasm. Bring plenty of film. Shore lunch always means picture-taking time. Lunch is almost ready. Notice the life around the shore area. A young pine tree that has taken root in a crack in this huge rock. Wildflowers wildflowers grow anywhere and everywhere. Miniature ferns supported by less than an inch of life-giving soil. A pair of swan lead their young of the year in a family flight. The Arctic tern is a ground nester. This youngster heads for cover, while overhead his mother scolds the intruder. The natives call this fireweed, and a brilliant display it certainly is. The lady slipper, actually a miniature wild orchid. One can't help but ponder the miracle of fragile plant life like this, surviving the harsh, long winters of the north. A loon's mournful music pierces the quiet of the wilderness. Maybe time for just one cast before lunch. Lunch is ready. Today's menu, fish, broiled fish, fried fish, baked fish, or fish chowder. These meals prepared by your Indian guide here in this wilderness setting will live long in your memory. Gulls and ravens quickly gather, squabbling over first in line to clean up the lunch site. Frontier Lodge is located right at one of the world's shortest but most productive rivers, the Stark. Approximately 1 mile in length, it connects Stark Lake at the top with Great Slave Lake. The Arctic grayling prefers moving water, and they gather here from both lakes to feed on newly hatched insects. You'll see later why the Stark enjoys such an international reputation when we go after this beautiful acrobat of the north with a large sail-like dorsal fin. But first, let's enjoy a unique angling experience available here on the Stark River. A large, colorful streamer tied to a sinking line and a power-casting fly rod is a lethal combination for the many trout that live in the river. Casting cross-current and retrieving the streamer in short jerks produces savage strikes. River trout hit harder, fight longer, and absolutely refuse to give up until they are totally exhausted. How many streamer fishermen know the joy of taking a dozen trout like this in an evening? Meanwhile, back at the lodge, Jerry has spent the day preparing a delightful surprise for his guests. His famous secret recipe for smoked trout. What tasty hors d'oeuvres while we await the dinner hour. Tonight's entree, porterhouse steak by Chef Gaeton Dallaire, under the critical supervision of Eva Bricker. Each evening brings a choice and varied dining experience, from prime rib and Cornish game hen to tossed salads and elaborate desserts. Woe be the dieter on this trip. After dinner, the fly fishermen head back for the river and the evening hatch. Jerry provides waiters at the lodge, so don't take up luggage space bringing your own. Do bring your own fly rod and a good selection of dry flies. or a spinning rod and a bubble fly combination is very effective, as are small spoons, spinners, and jigs worked on an ultralight spinning rod. You can actually play games like how many fish can I catch on one fly? After 12 to 15 fish, a fly is usually reduced to shreds. These fish average 2 pounds in weight, with many up to 5 pounds. The fly fisherman who has never known the pleasure of these northern acrobats has missed one of the world's most amazing fish. This fish thrives in water so cold it would kill rainbow trout. Also, unlike the habits of his southern cousin, the grayling prefers to hug the bottom, rising all the way to the surface for each insect. Watching them do this time after time from depths of 12 to 15 feet, one is greatly impressed with their keen eyesight. There is another peculiarity of grayling. Contrary to much that has been written, these lovely, graceful fish are made of solid cast iron muscle. Barbed hooks are difficult to remove because of this. Hence, in the interest of returning the fish unharmed to the stream, one should bend down or break off the barbs. What an experience for a teenage son. Challenging him to a catch and release contest could go on until midnight. This far north, summer evenings seem to melt into sunrise with no period of total darkness. This picture was taken at 11:30 at night. Perhaps the most underrated fish of all at Frontier Lodge, though, is the great northern pike. Most trout fishermen catch a few on daredevils, but to really enjoy this fish at his finest, offer him a skater or a streamer from a fly rod. Lurking in grass and reeds along the edge, he savagely strikes anything that ventures near. He prefers the shallow bay areas and the warmest water he can find. Throw a noisy, gurgling, splashing surface plug at him and watch what happens.
Big one's in this bay. There's one fish there right in the lead. Hey, there comes the big one, Mel. Look! Look at him. Look at him come. He got it! Look at that! Look at that! Come on, hell, look at him! Judas Priest, look at that thing! I can't believe this thing. This is dynamite, dynamite!
Because of numerous bones, the pike is not as popular for eating. But for exciting fishing, he's hard to beat.
About 10 or 12 pounds, I'll bet.
Handle the pike with great care. His teeth can be dangerous to fingers.
I'm going to put this plug right in next to that log there. I might need one there. Coming after it. Look at that, Sam. Look at him come. Look!
This time, let's remove the hooks completely and watch what happens.
Hey, there he is again! I knew he missed it. That thing was 35 inches long or so.
Yes, for sheer excitement, great northern pike has yet to be discovered by most fishermen.
Look! Hey, look, here he comes again! Look out! Missed it again! Look, right up against the boat. Now look! Look at it! Look, watch, I'll tease that bugger. Look at this! Look at that! Look at Another
undiscovered feature at Frontier Lodge is the fabulous fall fishing. Late August brings shorter days and cooler nights, and Jack Frost gives us a vivid preview of his autumn spectacular. Those anglers who know about it, the fall fishing, come with great enthusiasm. Eagerly they hit the dock, anxiously awaiting the guides and boats. Ah, here they come! September weather dictates a little warmer clothing, but dressed like this, autumn days are quite pleasant and fishing very productive. September brings the Lakers into shallow water near shore for spawning, and it's generally felt that more larger fish are caught during the fall month. The young bald eagles are now fully feathered and flying. Soon they will instinctively fly south for the winter. As night falls over the lodge, dinner has been served, and tired, happy guests have retired. Nothing can be heard but the quiet of the wilderness. All too soon, it's Saturday morning, and from across the lake comes the sound you least want to hear. The Twin Otter has returned from Yellowknife to take you back to civilization. A few last-minute pictures, and then handshakes and a fond farewell. It's been an experience you wish somehow didn't have to end. Sensing your feelings, the pilot swings back over the lodge for one final look. Within an hour, you'll be back in Yellowknife, where you'll transfer to the jetliner. And before nightfall, you'll be home, with enough memories to last a lifetime. For years, you'll tell friends about the big ones you caught and the ones that got away. Of those mouth-watering shore lunches cooked over a campfire by your Indian guide. And the fabulous Stark River with its beautiful Arctic freeway. Trout that fill a tub. Of actually getting tired from catching fish. And releasing larger fish than most anglers will ever see. And those crazy northern pike with the funny mouth.
Look at him come for it. Ah, he got it. Look at that. Look at that, Sam. Judas, look at that thing. Oh. Did you see that? I can't believe this. Dynamite. Dynamite.
And the breathtaking scenery of these northern woods. Yes, you've truly experienced a unique frontier of fishing.